BonusPrint now give you 50% bigger prints for the same price. Imagine that, 50% bigger. BonusPrint, a 50% bigger print.
Let others sit and dream their dreams. I'm gonna start living mine. There's a world out there we've hardly seen. Come on with me, now's the time. Now's the time, now's the time to taste it. Now's the time to play. You and me, we shouldn't waste it. We'll have the time of our lives today.
More and more people are enjoying the benefits of a regular monthly income from National Savings Income Bonds.
Now's the time to spend time our way.
It's me. I know it's your hair now, but it's about next Friday.
It started. Britain's latest share offer is getting underway.
Yeah, well, you mixed it.
Never mind who mixed it, just keep the brush moving. Trouble with you
Well, if you spent a little more time trying to help us...
Good evening, 001, hold short of runway 27, left at block 60.
Speedbird Concord 001, holding block 60. Do you have a gate assignment?
Affirm 001, refueling your gauge.
It's the BP share offer. For an information pack and to reserve a prospectus, phone 0272 272 272. Look for the advertisements in the papers or call in at any BP service station.
Fill her up, mate.
It's Britain's biggest share offer. BP. Be part of it.
I think you'll enjoy this. It's jam-packed with action.
HTV is opening the window on a whole new season of great entertainment. There are movie premieres like Romancing the Stone.
God damn it, what a ride!
There are exciting new miniseries featuring major stars like Timothy Dalton and Joan Collins.
I have one thing in common. They all hate me.
This is the beginning of your destruction.
Paul Nicholas is facing destruction. He's bust, but fighting back.
You're a bankrupt, Neil. You have no money. You're not in charge of your life anymore.
The sparkling new comedy bubbling over in the Ffiz.
Oh, we'll have to delay the game, I'm afraid. That goddaughter of mine is using the table.
Oh, I didn't know she played.
No, she's sleeping on it.
Smith and Jones are back, taking a sideways look at the world, the good days and the bad.
Tonight we're looking at our school days, the happiest days of our lives.
That certainly gave me the happiest days of my life. The Friday I left and the Monday after when I didn't have to go back.
Nigel Havers is the charmer, a character who was probably expelled from school several times.
Don't talk to me like that. Ever.
Cloud Waltzer, a lavish romance. Kathleen Bella fights her fear of flying to capture the heart of a mysterious millionaire. And Bond is back, and in great form with Never Say Never Again. The Two of Us returns for a brand new series of the ups and downs of living together. And this is child's play by comparison.
You'll be glad to know in advance that the word we gave him was muscle.
Dad's got some of these and he eats curry to make them big. He's got so many arms. Oh, one big one and he lifts weights.
We promised you great films, and here's Raiders of the Lost Ark. Great films, great family entertainment. A great new season ahead with HTV.
You can plan your own financial future. Or you can talk to Allied Dunbar. Allied Dunbar's insurance, pension and savings schemes have already helped secure the future for over 1 million people. So, for practical advice, wouldn't you be better off talking to Allied Dunbar? Personal financial guidance.
You know, it's all very well keeping up with today's healthy eating habits, but what do you do when you long for something deliciously rich and creamy to liven it up? It's simple. Treat yourself to new, light Philadelphia. It's got all the famous rich and creamy Philadelphia taste. But only half the fat.
New, light Philadelphia. Half the fat. Totally delicious.
It says here there's a Worthington Best Bitter pub at the end of the valley.
Huh? Oh, what are we doing here, then? Right, lads, here we go. Last man there gets him in. George!
Worthington Best Bitter. Go for it.
Yo, Theophilus P. Wildebeest here for Alpen Tropical. You know, I'm an exotic kind of guy. I know what I like when I see you.
Hush up! Come and have your breakfast. And I hope you've washed your hands.
Yes, Mom. You know, I'm an exotic...
When you were a little boy, Theo, there was only one kind of Alpen. Now they got Alpen Tropical.
Yeah, right on, Granddad. You know, I'm an exotic...
Yeah, Mom. This is my kind of breakfast. Pineapple, banana, apricot, nuts.
It's not just tropical, it's crucial.
Thanks, bro. You know, I'm an exotic kind...
Alpen with tropical fruit. Altogether, a tastier breakfast.
Anyone for a second helping?
I'm real sorry about this.
In the wet, you can't choose a better tire than a Uniroyal.
In a corner of your local bar, you may be fortunate enough to find a tiny part of Bavaria, where things go on much as they did 300 years ago, and thirsts are quenched with a lager that's been brewed as only the Bavarians know how. Faust Lager. Discover the taste of Bavaria.
In the Sun this week, Uri Geller attempts the psychic sensation of the century.
I'll do more than try to bend your spoons.
From high above Britain, he'll attempt to demonstrate his amazing powers on your watches and household appliances. And now the Sun mounts the world's greatest ever experiment in mind control.
I'll ask you to draw the first thing that comes into your head, because I'm going to try and put it there.
Find out about the sensational Uri Geller experiment only in the Sun tomorrow.
It could blow your mind.
Oh, no. The dreaded roller. Wait a minute. Dulux Solid Emulsion. Funny-looking paint. My mistake. It's cream cheese. Goes on nice and even, though, and not that splattery, judging by his head. He can't be finishing already. Very good. Better check the finish. Good stuff, this cream cheese.
Dulux Solid Emulsion. The paints rollers have been waiting for.
Jack certainly isn't a dull boy. He knows good value when he sees it, and he knows he'll be on to a winner when he takes home the big Andrex roll. Because as well as being soft, it's thick, wide, and incredibly long, which means it lasts and lasts. So, in the long run, he's likely to make a giant saving. Andrex, the legendary toilet tissue.
You know I'm waiting, just anticipating things I may never possess. But while I'm without them, try a little tender, try a little tender.
Bounty, the taste of paradise.
HTV gives you the chance to discover a whole new season of great entertainment, like Paul Nicholas losing everything.
I bust.
What's happened, Sheila, is bankruptcy.
You've really got no money?
That's what I'm trying to tell you.
No shortage of money or anything else here.
We'll have to delay the game, I'm afraid. That goddaughter of mine is using the table.
Oh, I didn't know she played.
No, she's sleeping on it.
For the Bretts, fame brings its own reward, but at what price?
My wife is giving a press conference in St. Paul's Cathedral tomorrow. Come along then.
Rik Mayall is the new statesman, a new MP, rich, successful, and he doesn't care who knows it. Taggart returns, as uncompromising as ever.
See that dead body in there? There'll be another one if you don't stop sniffing this stuff.
But who's in charge of affairs at the London Embassy, and for that matter at Oasis Publishing?
She's got a bit of a thing about me. I feel rather sorry for the poor girl.
Oh, she's hardly a girl. She's well past her sell-by date.
It's me. I know it's your hair now. It's about next Friday.
It started. Britain's latest share offer is getting underway.
Yeah, well, you mixed it. Never mind who mixed it. Just keep the brush moving. Trouble with you. Yeah, well, if you spent a little more time trying to help us.
Good evening, 001. Hold short of runway 27, left at block 60.
Speedbird Concord 001, holding block 60. Do you have a gate assignment?
Affirm 001, refueling your gate.
Gracious.
It's the BP share offer. For an information pack and to reserve a prospectus, phone 0272 272 272. Look for the advertisements in the papers or call in at any BP service station.
Fill her up, mate.
It's Britain's biggest share offer. BP. Be part of it.
Sorry, sir, you'll need a jacket.
Oh.
No trainers, Chief. Club rules. No jeans. Whoever makes them.
When you need something to feel good about, Novo's the snack packed with a dozen deliciously good things, like rolled oats, honey, glucose syrup and milk chocolate.
You still can't come in without one of these.
Cheers, mate.
You'll feel good after a Novo.
In The Sun this week, Uri Geller attempts the psychic sensation of the century.
I'll do more than try to bend your spoons.
From high above Britain, he'll attempt to demonstrate his amazing powers on your watches and household appliances. And now The Sun mounts the world's greatest ever experiment in mind control.
I'll ask you to draw the first thing that comes into your head, because I'm going to try and put it there.
Find out about the sensational Uri Geller experiment only in The Sun tomorrow.
It could blow your mind.
You're watching HTV Wales. We now join the studios of ITN in London for the news.
Home Secretary in Hungerford promises urgent action to tighten gun laws as prayers are offered for the victims and their killer. Powerboat crash kills French racing driver Didier Pironi. And Spanish flights won't be right till Wednesday. Good evening. The Home Secretary, Mr. Douglas Hurd, says he will tighten up Britain's gun laws following the Hungerford massacre. Mr. Hurd visited the Berkshire town today and said he's called an urgent meeting of ministers and officials at the Home Office tomorrow. He also said he was looking for the right moment to order an amnesty for people to hand in illegally held guns. Earlier, worshippers at special church services in Hungerford said prayers for the 16 murder victims and for their killer, Michael Ryan.
Just back from holiday, Mr. Hurd went straight to the burned-out home of Michael Ryan and promised new action on gun laws.
Firearms amnesty makes sense because it can bring in a considerable number of weapons, not held by professional criminals, but by people who are holding them illegally. But it makes more sense if you can add to it extra stiffening, extra changes in the existing law.
And that means tougher restrictions on owning weapons. Mr. Hurd said he wanted to minimize the risk of another horror. On the first Sunday after that horror, church services were held to remember the Hungerford victims. Many parishioners held hands as they arrived. Extra chairs had to be brought in for a congregation which wanted to pay its respects.
The events of last Wednesday leave us all numb and empty. We mourn those who have been killed. We grieve with those who still suffer both physical and mental pain. We all need to be healed of the trauma and nightmare which has been imprinted upon our minds.
Hungerford's vicar said people could be allowed to feel anger, but should not be bitter. And as an example, after the names of the victims were read out, there was this thought.
And Michael Ryan, may God have mercy on his soul.
Many of the congregation were in tears. For some, the occasion proved too much. Those who'd lost loved ones clung together, a town's grief etched in their faces.
The former Grand Prix driver Didier Pironi and 2 other Frenchmen were killed today when their powerboat crashed off the Isle of Wight. They were taking part in a race from Poole to the Needles when the boat hit the wash from a tanker and somersaulted into the air. Eyewitnesses said one man was thrown out, but the other 2 were found still strapped in their seats.
Didier Pironi's boat was travelling off the Needles at more than 100 miles an hour when disaster struck. The powerboat hit the wash of an oil tanker, was thrown 20 feet into the air and overturned. The boat, Colibri, has been brought back to Lymington in Hampshire, where the damage is being inspected to see if there had been any electrical or mechanical failure just before the accident, in which all 3 men died instantly.
We saw one of the crewmen just underneath the boat on the side. The boat was completely upside down, quite well sunk in the water. We got that one out with the aid of Lymington lifeboat. He was put on our boat. He was given a cardiac massage and the kiss of life.
After a brilliant career as a Formula One driver, during which he won 3 Grand Prix races outright, Pironi abandoned the sport after almost losing his life in a crash during practice for the 1982 German Grand Prix. At the time, he was leading the Drivers' World Championship points table. After a long recovery, he turned to powerboat racing and built up his own stable based in Saint-Tropez, where in April the Colibri was launched. 35-year-old Pironi revelled in his new second career. He was determined to win the World Championship that had eluded him in motor racing. He was well on the way to achieving that ambition. Only last weekend he won the Arendal Powerboat Grand Prix in Norway. But it is as a master of the motor racing Grand Prix circuit that Didier Pironi will be best remembered.
An outlawed Protestant group, the Ulster Freedom Fighters, say they shot dead a Catholic taxi driver today as he drove his wife and children to morning mass in southwest Belfast. Mr. Michael Power was hit in the head. His 8-year-old daughter was taken to hospital with eye injuries.
Mickey Power was driving his wife and 3 children to morning mass when gunmen drew up alongside his car. A hooded man stepped out, firing shots at close range, hitting Mr. Power several times in the head. His 8-year-old daughter, Michelle, was injured in the eyes from flying glass as windows shattered. Mrs. Power and 2 other children, a 4-year-old boy and 9-month-old baby girl, escaped injury. Mr. Power, who was a taxi driver, has been described as a deeply religious man who often held prayer meetings at his home. A short time after the gunman's car was found, the Protestant extremist group, the UFF, said they killed Mr. Power in retaliation for the murder of a UDR soldier and because they said he was a member of the IRA. It's a claim that's being denied by Republican sources. A local councillor described the murder as a purely sectarian attack on another innocent man.
Abroad, the patched-up supertanker the Bridgeton is heading south towards the Strait of Hormuz tonight, escorted by 2 American warships. Earlier, it mysteriously separated from 3 other tankers in the same convoy, but they're now known to be following about 100 miles behind. ITN's Brent Sadler has been watching the convoy's progress. His ship's been involved in a collision with an American frigate.
The ships had passed through a high-risk mines area during the night, but they stopped unexpectedly off Bahrain before dawn, about halfway down the Gulf. 4 tankers